Throughout this process, I've reflected on my strengths and weaknesses and what I've enjoyed and disliked the most. So, firstly, a strength of mine that I find I really excelled in is note taking, and this developed a lot throughout the course. I reflected and developed on what I find useful most in note taking, and I found that reading before the lectures, getting some brief notes on that was helpful for when I was then in lectures, so I could focus on what was being said and not have to rush to write down what the lecturer was saying. And I also found that by writing down my notes, I'm taking more into what is being said instead of typing on a screen on a Word document, and then to later on type up again what I wrote down, and then I can make it all colourful and nice to look back on instead of just typing on a plain Word document, rushing in the lectures. So for me, I found note taking is a skill that I've really developed and took on in my own way from the start of university to now, and now I know what I feel comfortable doing and not doing. And this is going to be really helpful throughout my degree, as I'm going to need to do it in all lectures and just in everyday life, just to take down notes and just know what I need to do for my work. So secondly, a piece of the portfolio I really enjoyed was the press release, because it was an exciting and creative task. So the task was to create a really interesting press release to do with Lush Cosmetics, and I chose to do Lush Cosmetics collaborating with Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, I chose to do Leonardo DiCaprio because he's a huge environmentalist. He's all about saving the world, saving animals. Lush stand for going against animal cruelty and creating like vegan products and stuff like that. So I felt by having Leonardo DiCaprio and Lush, who have both similar beliefs, doing a collab together would be really interesting. And considering Leonardo DiCaprio is like worldwide famous, it would be a really interesting thing to talk about than maybe just a little celebrity that not many people know. So before this, I didn't know how to write press releases at all. And then we did a seminar workshop and went through conventions of a press release. So I really took those in when writing. So in one paragraph, I'd write about the 5 W's and then contact details, and included a quote as well. Also, things such as a short and simple headline for a press release, which I added into my own press release. So I found that seminar really helpful and then made me do really well in that part of the portfolio. So finally, there were bits I struggled in, and one bit for me was the size of the portfolio. So at first when I got it, I was a bit like, I don't know where to begin, because there were so many different components and some were bigger than others. So what I did was I started with what I found to be the easiest, which was the blog, so I could get that done out the way and feel confident with that. And then, well, before actually I started any work, I planned each component out, so then when I was done with one, I could move on to the other without taking time to plan it. So it's already planned and I can do it. So for me, I found the reflective essay and this presentation to be the most of the challenging parts of the portfolio. But I saved them to last, and I think next time I would want to do them first, as they're the most challenging, and actually leave the easiest bits to last. So not that so I could rush them, but so then I could just take a bit more time on the things I'd found more difficult, such as this presentation and the reflective essay, and the bigger parts just to spend more time on them. So that is my reflective presentation done, and I hope you enjoyed it.